Coach.
Hey, Pat.
Coach, hey, I want to let you know, it's an absolute honor to be out here knowing that you're the man that is manning the football team once again, and I can't wait to make trips to Morgantown on a much more regular basis, so let's just lead off with that. How is it?
Yeah, well, you need to. Yeah, you need to bring your show, bring your crew, bring your teammates, bring AJ. In fact, AJ, I've heard you gave an endorsement for old Coach Rod here, and so I really appreciate it. I'm gonna get you some gear too, because I got some gear that looks better than what you got on. But anyway, I appreciate your endorsement.
I respect the shot. I respect it.
Yeah, but Pat, you're special, and I am so proud for what you're doing, what you've done, and I told him I want to be on every week now. You're going to have Belichick on there and Aaron Rodgers on there. You need to have Coach Rod from West Virginia on there every week now. So.
All right, sounds good. Hey, that sounds good to me. If you'll come on and you'll chit-chat with us every week, I would love that. Obviously, it's been very nice catching up with you. Not only over the years, obviously, text back and forth every once in a while, but the last few weeks as this became a potential reality, it's been nice talking and catching up and seeing your growth and seeing how you're handling everything. How has it been to be back in Morgantown? Was that a surreal moment yesterday when you get off that plane?
That is the perfect word, surreal, because it's been 17 years. I've been back in the state. Obviously, my family's here. My wife's family's from here, but I haven't been back to the facility for 17 years, and I kind of like what they've done with the place. You know, it's really phenomenal what they've done facility-wise. Certainly, the support is there. I know the Mountaineer Maniacs are still there, and we're still one of the top party schools in the country. That's a good thing, I guess. So, but I am so blessed to have this opportunity. Really am.
Okay, so we see you walk around the building yesterday. We see your team meeting, okay? And obviously the smiles and catching up. And I think there's one or two people that are still in the building from your era, if I'm not mistaken. So it's probably nice.
Yeah, there's a couple.
Yeah, probably nice to see some
I didn't know they were filming my meeting, though. I would have, my daughter Raquel told me afterwards, so you should always know the cameras are on. But I'm glad I didn't go off like I had done before at Pat McAfee or some of his teammates.
So if it means anything,
it was a good meeting.
It was a great meeting. Did you know you were going to do that? How much do you prepare for that? And when you looked around that room, I saw the one part that I saw, and I told you about this whenever I saw you in the back before I came out here. Whenever you told the guys, if you're going to lounge, I see a lot of guys lounging. And if you're a lounge guy, I don't know if this is the place for you because,
kind of looking disengaged, but I kind of treated it kind of nicely yesterday because it was the first team meeting. I didn't want to come off too strong, so I wasn't really hoping to see somebody lounging, but I was kind of hoping I would see somebody lounging. You know what I mean? So I didn't know their name, so I didn't have to embarrass them by name, and I'm glad I didn't because they weren't doing anything really that wrong, but it was just kind of a attention to detail that we're going to get started with from the jump.
Yeah, so you got to set the precedent early. Obviously, that's why it's called precedent. But I'll never forget one of my first meetings. I'm sitting like this, casual, just head back. I'm here, okay, I'm on time. And also, you're 15 minutes early, okay? You're 10 minutes early, you're late, you're on time. You're late, you're 15 minutes early every damn time, Pat McAfee. I'm like, you got it, coach, okay? That's the type of stuff that you preach and teach that I've carried into my life. I appreciate you for that. But one of those first meetings, I'm casual. I'm sitting like this, What's this guy going to say? I can't wait to hear this. Got a sweet accent. Can't wait to hear what he has to say. His intensity is going to be awesome. And literally before you even start anything, sit your ass up, McAfee. And I was like, whoop, all right. We are in this thing. And then it was immediate like, hey, how you do anything is how you do everything. That is how you
it was the same kind of meeting. Remember the meeting we had when Darrelle Revis returned that punt? We were watching it as a whole team. I do remember that meeting, and I think you probably were a brunt of some of the discussion during that punt return. You and about 5 of your teammates. I do remember that one.
Yeah, but Coach, you talked and you said you went a little easier there, but it seems like you're still the same coach. We're going to be accountable. We're going to be disciplined. We're going to be passionate. We're going to fly around. But you said you're a different coach now than you were 17 years ago. What does that mean for you? And did coaching your son, Rhett, change you? Is that something that potentially changed?
It did. I think every year, it's like I've always said this. Some coaches brag about, well, they got 25 years of experience and whatever. But if they never grew or learned or got better, they got 1 year experience repeated 25 times, right? And what I've tried to do is be a better coach every year, whether it's schemes or methods or how you run your program. And that's what I feel the most proud about, that the coaches, myself and the coaches that have been around me on our staffs, have gotten better every year. I'm a better coach now than I was when I left. But I needed to be. And if I want my players to be better every year, I got to be better every year. And that doesn't mean we don't make mistakes. But at the same time, we got a great passion. I still have a great passion for football. I got a great passion to coach. And I still think good players want to be coached. There's kind of a tendency today of players not getting coached and coaches not coaching players. And the good players want to get coached. They want to get better. And that's our job, to make them better. And that's not always easy. Sometimes you got to be the bad guy as a coach, but at the end of the day, when you make them better, all right, they'll appreciate you more as a coach, in my opinion.
Coach, I'll say this. I've been lucky to be a part of College Game Day, and I've gotten a chance to see like every single building. The teams that win all coach. The teams that kind of are in the middle kind of let shit happen. Let the lounging happen. Let I need more money in the middle of a season, I'm going to sit out. I think that is why you are the perfect guy for this job in 2024, especially at this school. And last question for me before AJ and the boys have some for you. When you looked around that room, and I know you said you were looking for somebody to lounge so you could point out the fact that, hey, in my meetings, that it's not how you're going to be engaged. We're going to want to get after somebody's ass. How many people do you legitimately expect to remain? Because I've heard a lot of conversation around the college football world that's like, Rich's got to get in there, and he's got to start recruiting these guys that are on the roster to make sure they stick around. And I know not everybody's going to like this, we got to do a clean sweep. I'm okay with it. If we got to get Rich Rod's guys in there, I'm okay with it, because I was on a group text last night, and I told you this with a lot of my old teammates, and they were like, those dudes have no idea. Those dudes have no clue what's about to be asked of them. When you look in that room and you talk to some of these guys, do you feel like there is some carryover that will be able to fit into a Coach Rod culture? And how do you feel about the roster?
Yeah, that's a great question. Because I watched a little bit of practice this morning, but I haven't watched film. I haven't really watched their games. I haven't really kind of studied their talent, so to speak. But from that standpoint, if they're a talented guy and they work hard and they buy into the program, I want them around. If they're soft or lazy, if they don't want to give their best effort, then I don't want them around. I mean, it's pretty simple, right? It's like the two worst 4-letter words are soft and lazy. And that, to me, has nothing to do with talent or what year they are. And that's coming from a state that I know very well. The people in the state of West Virginia work hard. They don't want to be soft. They don't want to be lazy. They don't want the people playing and representing them being soft or lazy.
I talked to you the other day about this, and you said, the way my teams have always been described is tough. And I take that as a badge of honor, because I'm from West Virginia. Your tie's off. I mean, you're getting jacked up over there. Get jacked up over there in the suit. The tie's getting all disheveled. Yeah, I get it. You want to go get after somebody's ass right now. You want to get these people even better. But you said every position, I want to be tough. Every single position, I want them to be tough. And we could feel that when we were in your locker room, and I think these guys will feel it as well. AJ has a question for you from the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Yeah, Coach, I love that. The soft and lazy, I agree with you completely on that sentiment. But when you're going out and trying to recruit players that are not soft, not lazy, I guess, how do you know when they're a Rich Rod or a WVU guy, and how are you going to locate them? And then ultimately, what are you going to do with them once you bring them to campus?
Yeah, I think the difference now with so much turnover in college football, and we got to face it, you've got to build a program, but you're also building a team every year. And you might have a bunch of new guys every year, but if you bring in the right guys, your culture would be consistent, from that standpoint. You can't sacrifice. Every coach talks about they have culture, but they sacrifice their culture for one player or two players, and you can't do that. The culture is the culture, and then everybody comes in and has to adapt to what you're doing, how you do things. And it's hard to do that because, you don't really know the guys sometimes in the transfer portal, or sometimes you don't really know the guys in high school. So as coaches, we better really vet and think, is this our type of guy? You could tell by the skill and the speed and all that, but is he our type of guy? Can he make it through a practice? Will he buy into what we're trying to do? Does he want to be coached? And if they do all that, they're fine. But sometimes you evaluate wrong. I think one of the strengths that I've been blessed with, my staff has been blessed with, we can evaluate those guys that fit that part. They have the talent, but they fit that hard edge. And we talk about that hard. Sometimes guys don't have it because they've never been taught to have it. Some guys have it naturally, but they all got to have it to be in this program.
You got a good radar of hard edge, huh? Walk into a room, soft, 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 tough, soft. I like that. That's a good thing to have in a football coach. I'll let you know that.
Well, I like when my kicker would knock the hell out of somebody when he's trying to make a return. You know what I mean, Pat? I don't think you were that jacked up when you were playing for me, but that's okay. But you were good.
Coach Rod, I was strength and conditioning All-American here at West Virginia, actually. Hang clean in 365 like 10 times with Barwis Beach, which leads me to that. When you said to the boys in the meeting, if you want to play fast, you're going to have to be in shape. And then you just matter-of-factly said, we're going to be in shape. And that was the line that we all said, these dudes don't fully understand. When does that start for you? Like when? I don't think I understand the whole process here. Because they have a bowl game, and then there's what, probably a break, and then after that?
Yeah, a couple weeks, and then they'll start in a winter conditioning program in January. I did ask, too, that the law school hill was still available because we're going to use that hill. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I guess they were still on it, so that's a good thing. I don't have to introduce it to them again, so they know where the hill is at.
You'll be able to find some hills around here. Every time you land in here, it's so beautiful. Like, I think I forget every time we fly in. And it had been a long time since I came back the last time for the spring game and everything like that. You fly in here, the foliage, the views, the people, the town. I mean, it is ready to host, recruit, and win again. And I think that is.
That's right.
It's very evident. I think it's very evident, Coach.
Yeah, you could, and I was going to mention it later, but you can win a national championship in West Virginia. You can win a national championship at West Virginia. You can win a national championship at West Virginia.
We were this close, which is why I'm happy that you're back. And I know you're going to talk about it at your press conference, but that was a big thing I told you. I said, hey, I need you to go back there and do this so I can get this off of my conscience. And you said, you too. You've been thinking about this for a long time as well, right? Making it.
Yeah, I want to make it right. Let's make it right.
How do you feel about that, though? Like, legitimately, what is because for me, it shows up when I'm laying my head down at night, okay? My head lays down at night, and I think about what I got to do tomorrow, and then much cool. But we're that close, and then I go to sleep, and then the next day I forget about it, and then I'll have lunch, and somebody from LSU or somebody will talk and be like, hey, you remember? And I'm like, yeah, I do remember. So it's like with me every single day. For you, have you been trying to bury it for a long time, or has it been something that's been with you?
It's always out there, but here's how do you get there? You can't think like, okay, we're going to win a national championship, and then it magically appears. It's like, what do we got to do tomorrow to win? Every decision I make in this program, every decision that the coaching staff makes, every decision that the players make, does it help us win? If it doesn't help us win, it ain't the right decision. So that's kind of the mindset we're going to have from day one.
Hey, I can't wait to watch you make it right. Conman has a question for you, Coach.
Yeah, Coach, friend of yours, guy who actually coached for you, Tony Gibson, got hired down at Marshall, and he brought up the idea of the Friends of Coal Bowl coming back. Is that something you're interested in? Do you see that happening? And if you were to maybe play, are we thinking like 63-0 West Virginia, or how does that? Is it a respectful game where you kind of let off the gas a little bit?
Yeah, well, Gibby is a great friend of mine, was a great staff member, and we're still very dear friends. But I don't even think you think I have spent 1 second thinking about Marshall. You're wrong. I could care less what's going on. It's blue and gold.
Yeah, you're damn right. You're damn right. This is the team of the state of West Virginia. Now there is a game. There is a game. Obviously, Marshall, Friends of Coal Bowl, shout out to Governor Manchin at the time. Then he became Senator Manchin. Then he was Independent Manchin. Then is he President Manchin? No, can't be. Whatever the case, still around. He created that Friends of Coal Bowl initiative. The other rivalry, third week, September 13th, 9/13, okay? That's going to be in West Virginia, in Morgantown. And I know you got games before that, and how can we win right now? That's obviously the football gods putting something up on a tee potentially early in your first year. And how do you view the thought of that particular game?
Well, I probably misspoke a little bit earlier when I said the two worst four-letter words were soft and lazy. I left out Pitt.
Coach, Scott doesn't know I'm in the middle of a live show right now. Good to see you, buddy. Kind of doing something. I appreciate you. We'll take a photo in a matter of
Thank you, guys.
Great, but no, not you. I'm talking to this guy right here. That's literally standing right next to me, trying to get a photo. Good guy, man. This good guy right here looks good.
Good beard.
You do know that particular school literally wins nothing. They hang their hat on beating us in that one game. Legitimately, that's it. So let's make sure September 13th that kind of all
September
goes away.
13th. That's right.
One last question here. One of my guys back in Indianapolis, Ty Schmidt, has a question for you, Coach Rod.
Yeah, Coach.
Sure.
Just curious. Everyone, when they talk about college football now, it's, hey, the transfer portal has changed everything, or NIL has changed everything. But in your opinion, how has the game itself changed from the first time you were at West Virginia to now? And do you think you can still emulate the team, upcoming this next year, similar to the teams you had, when Pat was there and you were so successful?
Yeah, that's a good question. Back then, this is 20 years ago or so, there wasn't a lot of teams that had spread formation, shotgun, and up-tempo a lot of the time. Now there's a whole lot of teams that do it. And so teams are defending that kind of style of offense differently now than they did 20 years ago. So you have to adapt. We're not exactly the same as we were 20 years ago, but our core is the same. I still believe in tempo. I still believe in conditioning. I still believe you got to be able to run the football first and be strong up front. And I still believe in playing with 11. Our quarterbacks are going to be part of the play, whether it's a run or a pass, all the time. So we still maintain that, but it's a lot more creative defenses that we're seeing nowadays, and we've learned how to adapt to that.
All right, Coach, we can't wait to watch you. This crowd can't wait to see you.